Hello, welcome to Obsessive Audio. Eric here. We have a brand new plugin just released from Fuse Audio Labs. It's the VCE 118 Dynamic Range Enhancer. And this is based off the classic DBX 118 Dynamic Range Enhancer, 1970s VCA technology. This little unit has the ability to expand or compress, and it does have a particular sound to it, which is amazing. It's got one trick up its sleeve, which is the infinite compression, and I think I'm going to use that like 90% of the time. As far as these plugins go, it's one thing that I think you should have at least one plugin that can do it. And for this to be released at $29 introductory price, this might just be your ticket to infinite compression. Let's take a quick look at the controls here. We've got a power switch, which is your bypass. You've got your threshold knob right here, standard compressor threshold. You've got your typical DBX lights, which will tell you if the signal is above or below the threshold you've set at a given time. There's two modes, the above threshold mode that the plugin opens up with, and that will only affect stuff that is above the threshold. But you also have linear mode, and this affects the entire dynamic range, so you can squeeze or expand your entire dynamic range. That said, when you're in linear mode, the level threshold knob here still changes the sound, so that's also something that's nice to have. Now you have your ratio here, and there's two directions that you can go. If you go to the right, that's expansion. And that's going to expand anything, above the threshold if you're in above threshold mode. So if the signal overshoots 3 dBs above the threshold, that's now going to be 6 dBs. If you go the other way to the left, that is compressor ratio 2, 3, 5, all the way to infinity, which I cannot wait to get to. Now, if you're expanding sounds above the threshold, there's a good chance that you might end up with digital overs. And this is where your little headroom knob here comes in. And what this basically is a saturator clipper. You bring that down to whatever level you need, minus 1 dB, 2 dBs. You won't go over 0. Very helpful. Sounds awesome too. I put this in an analyzer. It has the even and the odd harmonics. They dealt with the DC offset. Technically, this is a very sound plugin. You also have a mix, wet dry mix here if you want to do parallel expansion, parallel compression. That is right there. And a clean output knob, which they're calling trim here, minus 20 up to plus 20 dBs. Clean at the very end of the chain. Let's hear some examples after a word from our sponsors. So I've got some drums. These are live acoustic drums, straight off the microphones, faders up only, mix. So you wouldn't think that it needs expansion, and it probably doesn't, but let's hear it. Now we're going to set the threshold so that it's hitting the transients of each drum head. Now, as I increase this ratio here, it's going to exaggerate those transients. When I get up way high, like up to 2, it's going to sound almost like a gate, or maybe something like a Rocktron Hush noise reducer. Let's hear that. It's already starting to get loud, so let's move this headroom down to below 0, like minus 0.4 should be fine. So basically, it can reduce ambience. So this example might not be the best for that, but if you have something that's just way too reverberant, you could probably pick out those drum hits and push them louder forward, just the transients of the drums. But what I really want to get to here is, of course, the compression. We've got the threshold already set to hit the transients. Let's try compressing it and giving it some more volume as well. So a standard DBX style compression, which is very nice. And you could mix that in a parallel style. Last but not least, by any means, my entire reason for wanting this plugin is the infinite compression. Check this out. We're going to go into linear mode. You can hear the talking at the end of the take, and it's just bringing everything up. This can be exaggerated even farther than that. Let's go to just move that level all the way down. Now it is distorting quite a bit, so we're going to move the headroom up. Take this down. I mean, to me, that's it's like the SSL Listen mic, or there are not a lot of plugins that can do this trick. Eventide Omnipressor can do it, although I'll say that this does sound a little grittier, a little dirtier, punchier, for lack of a better description. I just love it. Let's listen without, just at that very end. Or actually, let's go to another part here where it's just shots. That's without. I'll give it some more volume, like in the idea of volume matching. Although you can see how that gets tricky when you're affecting dynamic ranges this much. So that's without. Let's hear what that sounds like with infinite compression. So there you have it, the VCE 118 from Fuse Audio Labs. Beautiful plugin. Check it out. I'm going to put the link in the description below. And thanks for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Obsessive Audio.